Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video titled How I View the US After 15 Years Living Abroad. Dude, this is crazy numbers. Like, that's a whole adult. Like, yeah, I know it's not adult, but 15 is basically an adult. You know what I mean? That's no longer a child. That ma getting out of high school soon. You know what I mean? College. That's crazy. That's me a few years ago. Wow, that's crazy. Anyways. Yeah, we're gonna be checking out this video right now, so thank you for watching this video. If you have any recommendations, click that link in the pinned comment section. You can recommend videos. I'll check them out as soon as possible. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this video, man.
Well, 15 years ago, I decided to leave the United States of America and begin my professional career
in New York,
in Shanghai, China. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. Going abroad has taught me so much more about my own country, and it has forever changed me as a man, as a husband, as a father, and it really has become my identity. But now, after 15 years abroad, I've come back to the United States, and this country is very different than when I last left it in 2007. And in today's video, I want to share with you the things that I dislike about the United States after living abroad for 15 years. Now, the first thing that I want to address is the media, because this is the very interesting thing. Everybody across the board honestly has a very, very negative perception of American media. If you ask the vast majority of Americans do not trust the media. They know that the media's main goal is to divide the population. And we see this so much in America right now. I have never seen a country more polarized and more split right down the middle. And honestly, it's very concerning for me, because you have half the country that is hardcore Republican, half the country that is hardcore Democrat, and it seems like they're...
Can I say something? Hardcore, in reference, really, you know, I don't know if he means it the same way how I mean it, but the reality is that most people in the United States are not going based off of policies. They're going based off of beliefs. So they're going off what they believe Republicans represent or what they believe Democrat represents. That's literally most people. Most people are not going, oh yeah, this sounds like a good policy. This would, no. That's the reason why so many people, no matter what this leader will say or that leader will do, they're still blinded to it because they're not actually choosing a leader because of that. They're choosing a leader because of alliance to a party.
There's not enough people in the middle seeking to have this bipartisan relationship. You know, Democrats and Republicans, at the end of the day, they have the similar goal. They want to make America a better place. They just have different ways of doing that. But this is something that I really see inside this country, is that we have a lot of division, and honestly, it's the media that has caused a tremendous amount of this. Now, the next thing that I dislike about America is the politicians inside of this country. Politicians are focused on one simple goal. Their goal is to get reelected so that they can continue their political campaigns. They honestly do not have the best interest of the people at heart. They are very selfish. They work with a tremendous amount of lobbyists. They get a tremendous amount of corporate money. There is so much corruption inside of this political game here that it has just really ruined the entire system. And this is the interesting thing about our democracy, that right here in 2022 in America, we have a tremendous amount of American citizens that do not believe in our democracy anymore. They believe that our democracy is on the verge of a collapse. We see that right now, you know, there's so much fear and speculation really with the 2024 election and what's going to happen. And honestly, it is a little bit worrisome because
How new is this video? He just mentioned about... It's 1 year ago. Damn. Well, we're headed right to the 2024 election, my boy. Right now. We about to get there soon.
in the short term, we are going to have some difficulties. I am optimistic, and I know that eventually we will sort through this thing. But honestly, Donald Trump was probably the worst thing that ever happened to this country. And I'm so glad that he is now gone. But again, we need to get through a couple more election cycles to kind of wash this away. But again, politicians, nobody in this country has a good
Jinx? Jinx? I don't know.
impression of them. They have a terrible reputation, and again, a big part of why there's so much division inside of America. Now, the next thing that I want to address is what I call the American bubble. The United States is an amazing country.
It's real.
It really is. I'm proud to be American. But what I always want is I want Americans to get outside of this country and start experiencing the world so that they can better understand the world we live in and also better understand America. And this is the issue. We have this American bubble where essentially anything that happens outside of the borders of America is not on the radar of any American. Most Americans have no clue what is going on inside the world, and they really are only focused on what is happening inside of this country. It even goes down to our news. It is so difficult.
Even some people don't even know what's going on over there in the state next to them. It's reality, okay? For crying out loud, he was just going to mention about news. Do you know that America has state news network, like news networks that are representative for that particular state? It gets really down low, you know? So it's like, if your news network is talking about your area and it might dabble over something that is a little bit more dominant in the country, it really makes you not know nothing outside of your area, region, and country, to be honest.
Difficult to find credible news stories on what's really happening around the world. And as a result, overall, most Americans have very little understanding of how this world works and how other countries around the world function. And again, this is why I'm a very big advocate for traveling abroad and learning more things about this world. America, it's a great country, but it would be even better if we had Americans start traveling more and learning more about others. Now, after living 15 years abroad, one of the first things that you will notice is the incredible amount of influence that Big Pharma has inside of this country. And to me, it is absolutely shocking and something that you really do not see in any other country around the world. I'm pretty sure that in other countries, it's actually illegal for pharmaceutical companies to run television ads. But when you come to the United States of America,
illegal.
It is literally...
Hold on, is it illegal actually? Like, I've never thought of that before. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen... I think I've seen eye drops before on advertisements in Finland. But yeah, you don't have to worry about the USA. That it's flocked with medical advertisements. But you see how hard I'm thinking about it? It means that even if it is there, it's not something that is frequently done. But is it banned though?
Almost every television program, you see advertisements in magazines, on billboards. It is everywhere. And Big Pharma is a huge part of the health problem inside of this country, because we train people that if you have any type of problem, Big Pharma is the answer. Go to your doctor, get prescriptions, get pills. At the end of the day, Big Pharma makes so much money inside of this country. I'll give you a great example. Insulin medicine, which is what diabetics use, their cost of this prescription inside of America is 10 times the cost of what it is inside of Canada. Again, these are Big Pharma companies making too much money and having too much influence in society here. It's actually been the healthcare industry inside of this country. And to me, it's honestly one of the most shocking things. I actually made a video about this earlier, contrasting the healthcare inside of America versus other countries around the world. And the reality is that the average US citizen pays more for healthcare than any other place in the world, and our healthcare coverage really isn't that good. The interesting thing is that when you start living in other countries around the world, you start to realize what the actual cost for these things are. I highlighted this in an earlier video, but for example, living in Shanghai, China, you are able to walk into a world-class hospital and get an x-ray for about 50 renminbi, about $6 to $7 US. You can get an MRI.
What? Hold on! When he said 50 RMB or MMB or whatever, I was like, how much that is? Like, I don't know, probably 20 bucks? Like, I was not expecting 6 to 7, dude. $6 to $7 is crazy. What?
For about $100 to $150. These are the cost of these procedures inside of China on world-class machines. I'm talking General Electric, American-made machines that are doing these procedures. But here in the United States, we have a very corrupt system, and this is the best way to sum it up. In the United States, we do not have a health care system. We have a health care industry. Everything is based on profit, and again, these insurance companies are making so much money. This is a big problem that we have in America. It's actually a double-edged sword.
Wild part is he probably will never mention about it, but it's just like the justice system. The justice system is literally finances, bro. Like it's literally just for people to make money. Literally.
Because America, again, we're the most capitalist country in the world. In one side, it's actually made this country so amazing. I mean, I'm in New York City, look at the buildings out here, look at the business that's getting done. But again, when you become so capitalistic and you're focusing so much on making money, you really leave behind a lot of people. I'm going to give you another example, maternity leave. This is one of the biggest things that I do not understand inside of this country. There's only 2 countries in the entire world that does not offer federal maternity leave. That is Papua New Guinea and the United States of America. Let me contrast this with Canada, the country that I lived in for the past 5 years. If you were a mother in Canada, the government will give you 12 months of maternity leave. That is the law in Canada. And you have the option to extend that up to 8.
Everybody looking at Shorty like, yo, what Shorty on, right? What he talking about? Like, you know how many people have been looking at him while he's recording? Like, I ain't lying. Like, I'll pop out a camera and I'll record, but shit, not in New York, dog. You know how, like, New York has so much people walking all about. Like, I'm actually shocked that he's able to even get a video of this quality, because he does have a little bit of issue with his mic because when he's moving, but the quality of the video is so good with the sound, and New York is a very loud place, right? So I don't know how he picked a perfect time to have this.
18 months. You can apply for an extra 6 months. And this is really important because as a father myself and having 3 children, there is nothing more important than that new child spending as much time as they can with the mother. The simple thing of breastfeeding your child, that motherly connection to the child, it is absolutely vital for the first 12 months of that child's life. Here inside of America, most mothers are going back to work within 12 weeks of having that children. And if you financially can't afford it, you might even have to go back to work within 6 or 7 weeks. It's not uncommon inside of this country. One of the crazy things about the United States is that Medela, which is the world's best breast pump, this is a breast pump for ladies that are nursing, they sell a car adapter for their breast pump. And there's only one country in the world where they sell that car adapter, and that's the United States of America. And this is because so many women inside of this country have to work, and they are not given the time from their companies to actually pump their milk. They have to go to their car and use this machine in their car. And it shows you a lot about this society. Companies don't want to give that maternity leave because it costs them too much money. Again, this is the double-edged sword of capitalism. Capitalism is not evil, but when you prioritize making money over your citizens' health, this is a big issue in this country, and again, it's something that needs to change. The next reverse culture shock that I had coming back to the United States is this consumerism overload. There very much is a mentality here in the United States that you need to keep up with the Joneses, as we would say, and that is to buy the latest and greatest stuff. And when you start traveling around the world and you start seeing how people in other parts of the world live, you realize that there is a lot of happiness and a lot of joy in the world with not having a lot of material things. Again, I'm going to say this one more time, but in the United States,
I mean, the reality is material things don't really bring joy. I think what material things do is drown out your misery. Right? For example, like if I had the video game right here, I'm depressed, I get on there and I'm drowning that shit out, you know, a materialistic thing, just like wine and stuff like that. You're drowning out the sorrows, but the reality is we don't need nothing to actually, you know, be happy. It's the truth. Go outside in the woods, go cut some wood, you know, light a fire, eat a sausage type shit.
Don't really realize how blessed we are inside of this country. You know, for example, behind me, you know, they think they need to have the latest iPhone, the latest watch, the best sneakers, the best this, the best that. But at the end of the day, material things are not going to bring you happiness. It's really connecting with people, making life experiences, and, you know, finding a passion in your life and being that change that you want to see in the world. That's how you're going to experience real happiness. But at the end of the day, despite the many things that I dislike about this country, there is a lot of positives about that, and it's something that I also made a video about. So if you haven't watched that one, make sure that you check out the video on the positives about the United States. But overall, Every country around the world really has a lot of positives and negatives, and every country has to continue that fight to keep improving. And that is the biggest thing that I've learned, really traveling around the world, is that really, honestly, wherever you go, more people are similar than they are different. Now, many of you who follow this channel for a long time know that I make videos about the United States and China, two countries that I love, two countries that I've lived in for a long time. And it is my goal with
Yeah, it's crazy that you actually make videos about, China. But yeah, beautiful video, beautiful video. I think he's being very honest. Every country has its bad and every country has its good. And until you identify the bad that you got, you ain't never gonna be better. It's that simple. And the United States has its, fair share of, spots that needs to be tampered with and improved. However, will these things be improved? I don't know. He said he was optimistic. However, these things are not operated by governments. They are influenced by the wealthy. So the wealthy may never do things that would benefit the regular population, if that makes sense. So I don't really know if there will be any change for that. But either way, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm out of here. Peace.